Hi.
Hi. So I wanted to talk about a place where I keep getting stuck. And it happens mostly around when I'm listening to you or here. No, it's good. It's
You
a good
should
thing.
turn me
It's a good
off.
thing. I know, it's a good
Very, very simple solution here.
Yeah. So what happens is like the invitation to just be in the present, however you phrase that. You know, sometimes I feel myself like letting go and getting there, but the same sort of scenario keeps repeating, which is I feel suddenly like I am letting go, and it's like this image of myself, my ego, this construct of everything that people have said I should be, or that I've said I should be, or needed to be to protect myself, starts to fall away and crumble. And at the same time, I feel like I'm sort of descending. It's almost like down a dark funnel, but it feels like I'm descending home, and there's something joyful about that for an instant. But then I start crying. I have tremendous sadness about letting go of this
Teddy bear.
construct. It's like everything it represents, all the pain and struggle and
It's your blanket.
striving. You mean it's just my blankie?
It's just your blanket.
Gee, I thought it was something big.
A blankie is very big for someone who doesn't want to let go of their blankie.
But then
So what does that give you?
So then where I
Yeah.
end up is in this sadness, and then I start to go back into my head and think about it. And this morning I was trying a song on my own, and I got there, and I was crying, and I was trying to go deeper, and I couldn't go deeper. And I said, "Come on, you're a smart guy.
Put the blankie away."
You know what Gangaji would tell you to do? Just like let go of it and go deeper." But I was like
But maybe I wouldn't say let go.
But I was in my head at that point. And
Yeah,
that's
maybe
what,
that's it. So maybe I wouldn't say that. What's wrong with being sad at losing? There's some judgment there.
yeah, it's like there's something I'm afraid of. It's
Yeah,
like I don't
that's
want.
right.
I don't
That's right.
want
That's
to.
natural.
I don't want to just. I guess it almost feels like I don't want to let myself go deeper into that, and I just pull out of it.
That's exactly normally what happens, because it can be terrifying. Because whatever this construct is, it has served you in many ways as well as obstructed you in many ways. It's a
Right.
mixed bag.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with the construct. There's nothing wrong with your ego. Your ego's not even the problem.
Yeah.
So you can even forget about letting go of the ego. It's only the ego that needs to let go of the ego anyway. It's the higher ego that says, get rid of the blankie. It's really a descent into the unknown. And what does that evoke?
It's just something that it feels like I've been avoiding for all my life,
That's right. That's right.
and I'm still afraid of.
That's
something.
right. That's right. So everything in us is not there. Even though you've heard it's very good to go there. That's right. That's right. That's the crossroads. And it's not even, there's nothing wrong with pulling back from there. You have pulled back from there, and then you've judged yourself for pulling back from there. And that's what's unnecessary. That's what continues the war. You just recognize, I pull back from there. And if you don't judge that, then you have another chance. You say, my mind pulled back from there. Of course, that's the way the mind is. Don't go where it's dangerous. Don't go into dark tunnels. You don't know what's in there. This is so primevally in our genes, of course. That's to be expected. It's the way it works. There's nothing wrong with that. And then you open. So in this moment, without judgment, whatever is here, I don't know if it's sadness or fear or neither of those, whatever is here, just open your mind to it without defining what it means. And it's a counterintuitive, yeah, it takes a strength of heart that you have, or you wouldn't have come up here. And then you become aware you're telling yourself some story. Is there a discussion? This is the key. You ask me what to remember, that's really what you can remember. Is there a discussion going on? That's a major clue. That means avoidance in this kind of circumstance. Avoidance. To stop the discussion. That's all. You just stop the discussion and return to the direct experience. Just let your consciousness fall back into this unknowable space.
So what I'm experiencing is not. See, I expected when I came up here I was just going to go right into crying, but anyway. So what I'm experiencing is like letting go of that a little bit and starting to like try to analyze what that means, but at the same time just feeling like somehow a little bit more vulnerable, but open to that.
That's right.
But it feels a little bit, more okay.
That's right.
But it's
Because
not
you stop the judgment. That's all. That was the only difference. You stop the judgment. You stop the war for a moment. You stop beating yourself up because you can't be instantly enlightened.
Right. I mean, that's what was going on. That's what's been going on. It's like, I'm supposed to be able, this is simple, right? I should just...
Simple but not easy,
No,
remember?
I know, I remember. But why can't I just get there? And
That's because, that's it.
That's the judgment.
And that's the split from the ego that's called the superego.
Yeah.
Saying you should be doing it. That's the Father, that's God.
Right.
That's the demon, that's the tyrant. And so the willingness to hear that without going to war with it or going to obeyance to it, is then it's a little easier then. It's just like, there actually is more space to open.
That's what it feels like, a little bit more space.
That's right. How much more? Then you get to put your attention on that space. Measure the space.
More and more.
It's a very good assignment for the mind. So it seems like a crack of space or a dot of light. So that you just, let's see how much is there. And the mind descends into this spaciousness. And notice if there's efforting to do it. That's the setup for the failure. I should do it, I didn't do it, I can't do it, I will do it, I should do it. That's the discussion. That's the fourth grade, isn't it? Third grade. Unless teachers are better than what they were like when I was growing up. It's like, well, I can't, I don't get it. Well, you're stupid, you're worthless, you're no good. Get to the back of the room, write it 100 times, do it. You should pass this grade. I might not pass. This is so much in there. So then fail. In this moment, be willing to fail the fourth grade. Be willing to fail enlightenment.
I like that.
Yes. That's freedom, isn't it? I mean, isn't that anxiety that am I the only one that had anxiety about passing the fourth grade? It's to be willing to fail. to be willing to be not okay, to be willing to be unlovable, whatever the issue is a willingness to be free of these definitions of what failure is, of what enlightenment is, of what success is, of what genius is. And this in itself just cuts something loose, something that is a sticking place.
Mm-hmm.
For most people, regardless how sophisticated, how educated, whatever you know, whatever your past experience, because it's just so conditioned in there that it has its own groove. And it may appear and appear and appear, it doesn't matter. You get to fail and fail and fail and fail. I'm happy to tell you that I fail every time I speak to a group of people. I have never said what my teacher said I had to say, which is the unsayable. What an assignment! Doomed to fail you, but what a failure! When you recognize failure is not the enemy, fear is not the enemy, it's everything that arises is the potential ally to take you home.
Hmm.
What are you experiencing now?
I just feel sort of an ease and still some openness. And
Is there a difference in ease and openness or a separating point?
yeah, there is. I mean, the openness feels more. I mean, the ease just feels like a fixed thing, whereas the openness is sort of dynamic and full of energy and possibility of opening more, and that contains some of the scariness. But
Yeah, beautiful.
so that's like,
It's actually seeing a reflection of your mind. How is that possible? You talk about human minds. It is possible for humans to reflect back and see what the Buddhists call the original face, but it's actually your open mind. Not as a baby, not even like a baby, but what was present as a baby and still is present now. In this learned, conditioned mind, still, this openness is here.
right,
Still alive, still vibrant,
right,
still intelligent, still curious, and still room for whatever needs to appear or does appear to appear. There's room. There's room for ease and there's room for lack of ease. And they needn't be at war with one another. There's room. Because this openness, then I would say your assignment would be see if you can find the perimeter of this openness.
okay. I'll try that.
Yes, it's a good, give the mind something to do then.
But I just wanted to mention, though, that this first happened about a year and a half ago when I just happened by chance to see one of your satsang sessions on the local public access cable station. And it happens repeatedly when I listen to you, listen to your CDs, which I have, and it happened twice last night, and it happened once driving out here yesterday when I was listening to your CD. And
Because I'm a reflection of you. I'm reflecting you back to yourself.
Well, thank you.
It's my joy. It's what each of us has the capacity to do. First for ourselves, as you have discovered. Maybe it's evoked from outside, somebody or some experience or nature. It doesn't matter. It's evoked. And then it's evoked again. And it's evoked again. And then the sticking points arise. And we have this opportunity to meet. And discover really how those sticking points are really insubstantial. They're just some old stuff, some old garbage recirculating, like satellites around the earth. And here you are, simply yourself again. And in that, look out there, look, I can tell you, you have been a gift to at least, I see one holdout, but other than that, I'd say everyone in the room has received something. And that, hold out. Hold out as much as you can. There's nothing wrong with holding out. Hold out, resist. Resist, it's fine. It's really fine. Resistance comes up. This is threatening. Resistance is beautiful. We've needed to resist in human history. You wouldn't be in this room if you hadn't resisted a lot in your life. So it serves. Resistance has a right to be. So when it comes up inappropriately, let it come up. So what? And just meet it. See if the space can include it without a war between ease and resistance. This is speaking it. This is speaking it. Do you catch the words embedded in the laughter? Those are the alchemical words that will find their way in. Really, really.
Thank you.
I'm so happy. I'm so willing.
Thanks.
You don't have to get the joke, just laugh anyway. And Papaji said so accurately, if you're laughing, you're not thinking. Doesn't matter what got the laughing going, you're not thinking. And in that moment, what's here? What's here? Thank you. Thank you.